G'day, welcome back to my string challenge of Corp as we continue to try and join the world all the way together in a single continuous string. We are still heartily working our way through Africa. So, we haven't seen too much come up in Gabon. I'm going to try zooming in to see how these go. They move sort of like okay. Brazzaville. Feel like that was what my 5-year-old would call Brazil from memory. Alright, we'll just give these guys a little time. I think that Gabon will also need to see. Gonna have a few more show up there. I believe at the end of the last one we had cities showing up further back. Gabon, I don't believe, is a very heavily populated country. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't have too many cities. Although a lot of times it'll just merely give us cities to fill space. Well, rather, it'll give us towns to fill space. So let's have a look what we've got around here while we're waiting for these guys to show up. I mean, just won't worry about sorting out any of them at the moment. We'll slow things down and go try and fix things up in a little bit, but we'll give Congo just a chance to speed up, give us some cities. I've heard Tanzania is a good safari country. So you want to go safari, and I know that I'm sure I've mentioned it before. This is where you can go see the mountain gorillas, Rwanda and Uganda. So this is definitely on my list. But I would wait for that 5-year-old daughter I mentioned just before to be at least 15 so that she can join me on that. Similar story. I think I was talking about like what sort of holiday should I do on the islands here. I'm now swinging the other way. Instead of Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, I'm leaning back towards Vanuatu. I think I said last time that I thought Vanuatu was the easy option in those trips, and since that statement I've thought, well, what sort of scenario would be a good scenario where you would opt for the easy option? Potentially it would be one where, say, the whole world has like a pandemic going on and you're just easing out of it. Maybe that's a good scenario, a good time to go for the easy option. So Vanuatu is back in front. We're not moving too bad. Speed. I think the further I zoom out, the worse it gets. Let's just bounce around a little bit, see if we can fix up some cities. Birmingham, Chicago, so that's heading north is his issue. He's got one plane there. He's only got one plane there. I guess that's slightly longer. It was a small station, so we'll give them just a 300-seat plane. See, a few of these guys are also struggling, but they are just small-ish airports. It does not surprise me that this guy's taking the brunt of a whole run of short airports, then hitting that. So we'll... Actually, I think he's got... His other planes are not full-size one either. Well, we'll leave him with 3, see if that sorts him out. Panama's definitely heading north as its problem. Give him some assistance too. I would imagine that this is going to then force all of these guys to have problems as well. Someone did ask in the comments of the last one, what would I do? Well, how would I set up if I got Hawaii now? And the answer to that north as well, which is north's this one. The answer to if I got Hawaii now would be that I would turn this around. From this city here, I'd get rid of that flight there. I'd go this guy direct to the Falkland Islands, come back into South America, go to this one, and then from him, he would fly direct from there to Hawaii. Because then it would mean that the only people who are on that long flight are people who are traveling to and from Hawaii. because otherwise that flight's going to be too long anywhere else. We may as well just put it at the very end of the line. It would mean that there's 2 long flights to and from the Falkland Islands, but again, they would be the third last and fourth last flights at the end of this line as well, so it shouldn't cause too much problem. But if I got Anchorage and Hawaii, then I would fly 1, 2 and go all the way up the side. Yeah, getting a fair few cities in Congo here. I can't tell you what the difference is, or what the separation, I suppose, would have been between Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo. One of the 2 countries is claiming to be the Democratic Republic of. I would assume that they probably separated in favor of democracy. But that would just be a guess. Congo does feel like we're getting some cities pretty quick there too, so it does feel like it's quite full that I could go to the next, bring in the next country, and the fact that I just got a city in a different country, there we go, another one in a different country, does lead me to suspect that Congo is considering itself pretty done. Which is very quick. But we'll give it 2 more cities. If the next 2 cities aren't in the Congo, then we will move on to the next country. So while we're waiting for those 2 new cities to arrive, so we little learn about Congo. Congo. So it's the Republic of the Congo. So that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and this is the Republic of the Congo, which is also known as Congo Brazzaville. Actually, it would be because of its... Where did that city come in? I was not looking at the screen at the time. Okay, cool. Alright, so Congo's got another city, so you're still our preference at the moment. It's simply Congo, or the Congo is a country located in the western coast of Africa. It's bordered by these countries. Our population is... Interesting, the language of Congo is Congolese. Congolese. Congo, L-E-S-E. Lese. Maybe Lese? Congolese. Population of only 5.6 million. So again, not a very populated... Not to say, I mean, I realize I come from Australia and we've only got 5 times the population of that and a little bit more space. It's just more in comparison to some knowing that, like, its neighbor a few hundred kilometers north has 200 million. Is the comparison that I'm going off there. So the region was dominated by the Bantu-speaking tribes at least 3,000 years ago, who built trade links leading into the Congo River. Congo was formerly part of the French colony of Equatorial Africa. The Republic of Congo was established on the 28th of November 1958 and gained independence from France in 1960. It was a Marxist-Leninist state from 1969 to 1992 under the name People's Republic of the Congo. I wonder if at that point was where it and the democratic sections separated. Sovereign state has had multi-party elections since 1992, although a democratically elected government was ousted in 1997, Republic of the Congo Civil War. And President Denis Sassou Nguesso, who first came to power in 1979, has now ruled for over 4 decades. Alright, well there's another non-Congo city. One more and we'll continue on. Well, who is this? This is Angola. I think we'll next go for the Democratic Republic of Congo. I mean, we could bounce around like that. Depends on where the capital of the Democratic Republic is. Did not see where that city showed up. Oh, we've got one over here. We've got two over here. Zoom in here a bit. When we zoom in, we really get a taste for how many cities we've got in this section of the world. Alright, let's slow things down while we're working in here. Just make Mali connect even more through other countries. If I was a paranoid Malian president, I would be suspicious of all these countries that are about to push their borders in. Alright, let's go for the Democratic Congo. Now that capital being down there makes it a little bit trickier to work out a path that we want to go. Because here it seems like we want to just come down. But those guys will want us to go up. So let's just hold on. Well, let's speed things up again. Let's hold on making a move there. While we wait, let's learn about the Democratic Republic of Congo. Population of 100 million. So a little bit bigger than its named brother. Territory of the Democratic Republic of Congo was first inhabited by Central African foragers around 90,000 years ago. And was reached by the Bantu expansion about 3,000 years ago. So it sounds like this Bantu expansion is an interesting part, is a part of history that to be possibly interesting to go back to. In the late 1870s, just before the onset of the Scramble for Africa, which I've never heard of anything referred to as the Scramble of Africa before, but based on how many French, Portuguese countries there are in there, I would imagine that I can guess what the Scramble for Africa was. European exploration of the Congo Basin was carried out, first led by Henry Morton Stanley under the sponsorship of Leopold II of Belgium. Congo achieved independence from Belgium in June 30th, 1960, so it sounds like a lot of independence were going on in the 60s. Sounds like they had a president for a really long time as well. So maybe there's no connection, no separation between the two countries. Possibly it's just that the Congo River is just their shared, where their sort of share of name comes from. Toronto, where are we? In here. Manchester. So that means that the complaints of you are heading north. Why would that be? Seems a lot better now. Got over that very quick. It's two different directions. Guadalajara. Well, New York's the same direction actually, so let's go this side of him. A 500-seater. Wawa. Not surprised me that that guy needs a little bit of help. He's struggling on the... There's 2 planes going the other way for him, so it's not too surprising. Dover is currently, I guess, Sao Paulo, so it's going that way. Houston, Guadalajara, so that would be on this side. Oh, the plane. I mean, this could be a weird time to read as well, because a lot of these cities will just be cut off. Italy, basically dislocating Africa, disconnecting Africa. I wonder what... As we slowly zoom in, this piece of the Congo, Republic of Congo is like... It's 100 million people in this country, and if they like the beach, be a little hotspot of a holiday destination, I would imagine. Let's find out. So down there is a city called Moanda? Does have an airport, so it could possibly come up. I think that there's at least one hotel called the Le Bevior located there. With a 4.2 rating on Google. Too bad. Free Wi-Fi, free parking. Here's a review of the hotel. A nice place to be when you visit Moanda in DRC. Which I would surely have to agree with. I mean, if you weren't in Moanda DRC, it feels like it would be in a very inconvenient place to visit. What am I going to do with this guy? I mean, at the moment I'm going to have to... Let's make a connection here. You are going to these fellas. You will just have to sit there and probably wait a long while to join in. Alright, let's slow things down because we're happy about making connections. There we go. I mean, you're definitely not swaying me from making that connection. I wonder if that's a Surely you would do a majority of your trade and things with Rwanda as well if you're up there. It depends on where the capital of Angola is. Where we're gonna put these guys. Well, those guys will get connected to. We are still getting our Democratic Republic cities though, so we won't rush into expanding to Angola. Will be our next one though. There's a short little connection there. One thing I don't know about Africa is I don't know what's the tallest mountain in Africa is Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know where it is. Let's find out. It is in Tanzania. Just about here. Alright. So I guess while you're visiting Tanzania to go on safari, so go get a view of Mount Kilimanjaro. You can see that I do spend about $120,000 or so on each new airport, so it really shouldn't surprise me that my money has never gone beyond 7 million something. If anything, it's impressive that it hasn't dropped away. I mean, to me, the amazing thing is that this suggests that this is how fast anyone is reaching their destination. That there are so many people out there that there is a rate of people actually making it to their final destination. It's not just people constantly commuting to the next city in line. Alright, that guy's heading north is his problem. Which is... him as well. This is a funny little setup I've got going on here, looking at this now. Surely there would be a smoother way to... take care of these cities. I don't know, maybe these ones down the middle here are a bit awkward. Where's Bogota? I mean, Montreal, Monterey, Guadalajara, next, Manchester, they're all north. That would be this side of this route, wouldn't it? No. Be that side. Well, this guy's... I possibly have even said it in a previous video that this guy's got a... I did say $120,000 on each of these, sorry, it's more like $20,000. I think I might have said a while ago that this would be a late ad because he would be similar to Mali, where it's just you're probably just going to get divided between the closest country. He is. It's just the gap between him and Angola, like the gap that would have been there between the Congo and Angola, made it seem like he did have to come in first. And I mean, to leave those cities just waiting to get anyone, they'll be waiting a while while we work our way down. Oh, Congo's just become a hot place to visit. So let's get rid of that tiny little route. Whoa, why'd you have to curve that way? And luckily, as we're getting more cities here, it is sort of mapping out a path we can take. Eventually, it would mean that Zambia is the next place that we want to end up. I don't know. Still reluctant. Because I do know I've got to... Through here, I've got to have... path that's sort of journeying off north. But I mean, that could just completely ignore the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'd say something like this city here, I know is going to have much shorter connections here. And surely this guy's going to be closer to Uganda than it's going to be to the other cities around it. What do we think? And potentially, what I could do is swing down here to these three. Hey, is that my city? There it is. Wonder. We are still getting cities in the Congo, so I don't want to move on. Alright, let's get rid of that route and that route. That one. Add this guy in here. Make those two. Gets rid of that really tight line that wasn't my favorite. Got a new city, but I can't. Oh, it'll be one of these guys. Yeah. I'm fascinated to see that we've now got red planes moving about. How are we looking down here? We got this guy's permanently red. He's guy's heading north. And heading north out of here is this side. So he's heading north too, but I'm trying to math it out. Let's just go for the side that's longer going into it. He's becoming a real logjam too, but I mean, based on these numbers, he's potentially just broken at this stage. Well, the map of cities in the Democratic Republic is even further making the compelling argument to try and connect all of it. What I really need is somewhere in here, whether cities or towns exist in there or not. I do sometimes wonder about the how easy it is to cross some of these borders. I know that I might have mentioned it in a previous video, but I went to Kruger National Park that is here. The park is, the eastern border of the park is literally Mozambique. And I was staying on a town just on the other side of it, but the point of it was to go to Kruger National Park. It's very famous. It's probably the park, close to the park that you'd go to in if you're going to South Africa to go on safari. And I asked about how hard was it to go to Mozambique, because I thought, well, that'd be cool if I could go to Mozambique just basically to say that I've been to Mozambique. Like, can we just get to the other side of the park, cross the border, say, cool, here I am, go to a store, buy a, I don't know, t-shirt that says Mozambique on it, travel back across. And the multiple guides that I spoke to about it, none of them had ever been there. Some of them didn't even know how hard it was to get there. And like how hard or easy it was to get there, like what it would entail essentially. And then and the only one that I did seem to be aware of it as a concept suggested that it would take like 4 hours or something to cross the border. So that has made my my outlook on how easy is it to cross any border here a lot more unsure. Because that did sound like, that seemed confusingly hard. How close I was. And I thought possibly it made it the closest that I'd ever been to a country without having been to the country of, I think it was like 60 kilometers. But I realized that that is not the case. Actually, the thing that would hold the honor of that is Malaysia, because I've been to Singapore and I haven't been to Malaysia. And Singapore is on the border, and I mean, you can see Singapore is so small that it's not even on this map. It's just mushed into Malaysia here. Well, I feel that this guy is now become close enough that he's just now part of this, so we can do that. Slow it down, get rid of that. I want to leave that half of the Congo unconnected at this point. We certainly moving down. We're actually close to halfway, I think, in terms of total countries unlocked. We're halfway. Hope to see us knock over a few of these southern ones quickly. Obviously, once we get to South Africa, we can knock over Lesotho and Eswatini. So it used to be Swaziland, didn't it? And then we've got like Malawi and Brunei and, sorry, Burundi, not Brunei, and Rwanda. All that'll be quick knockoffs when we get down there. But anyway, that's our current state of play. Thanks again for watching. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, catch you later.